Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Hari Om. Yes, I request participants if you can share what is it that we saw last. Yes, please. Anybody? So we form a link and we can quickly go ahead. Anybody? Anything you can recollect from what we saw? Yes, Badrinaranji. Yes, sir. Please unmute, sir.
Sorry.
Yes.
Actions done in a right manner with discipline and regulation, free from likes and dislikes, and without expectation of fruits is known to be actions in sattva mode.
Absolutely. G.
Then actions done with a personal motive and
Yes.
with desires, with ego. I have done it, I have achieved something like that. And this is in fact exhausting the person and draining off his energy. Such actions are said to be in a rajasic
manner. Means the person feels exhausted and tired because it is I am the doer. So it creates a disturbance. If we are probably feeling a drain after doing actions, it's most likely it is a Rajas force that is functioning inside of us that is zapping our energies. All right. Ji, sir. And
then tamasic actions are done in ignorance without any
rhyme or reason. That is a network trouble, I think. Yes, sir.
Bothering for whether you are right or wrong and whether. Hello.
Yes, sir. Maybe you can just turn off your video and try. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Please continue, sir.
Actions done routinely and mechanically with all the wasted efforts, with no gains ultimately, even though actions are done. This is a tamasic mode of actions being done.
Okay,
then, sir. We go to what are the actions and how they are done in a sattva mode further. In a sattva mode, the actions, the person who is doing the actions is calm, composed, serene, well balanced, and not bothered about success or failure.
Always calm at all times.
Yeah,
at all moments. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
That's a sattvic work.
Yeah, he is without ego and free from any attachments also.
Okay.
Then a rajas person is always having passion, attachment to fruits of action. Then behavior is very much extreme in success or failure. That means he is getting elated, rejoice while he is having success, and very saddened during the process of any failure. That
sorrow and frustration also, isn't it, sir?
Yeah, frustration also. Correct. And his ultimate aim is to only fulfill desires. Yes.
Such a doer is a rajasic doer. And it says in the Shloka that a person spreads violence.
Yeah, spreads violence.
Self or others. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Then the tamas person works with cunningness. And full of ignorance, whatever are his actions.
Full of ignorance.
And, he does every action without thinking. And the action also is not yielding any results. It's full of blunders.
Okay. So
such a person is always in a sorrowful mood and always in a depression.
Okay, sir. So the works are also of the three gunas. Ji.
Yeah. And then Lord Krishna says, see, O Arjuna, I will tell you about the understanding and the persistence, which are also governed by the three gunas. Now, Lord Krishna goes on to explain this.
But my one question, sir, Badrinaranji, what do you mean by understanding? What do you think this understanding is, sir, for all of us? Means understanding is of three gunas. What is because understanding is a very common word, no?
Understanding meaning I understood is as how do we look at our way of working or our mode of
Perception.
action, perception. Right.
Okay,
You
sir.
are
Fine,
right.
sir. So our
We
perception
perceive
also.
things.
So sometimes things
Right.
are good, but we perceive that to be bad. Sometimes things are bad and we wrongly perceive it to be good. So perception is a
Yeah.
very important thing, but gunas govern our perception. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, a sattva person has a very clear understanding, basically,
Okay.
of what actions are to be done, what not to be done, what is right, what is wrong, something like that.
Vivek
And
Buddhi is awakened.
then, yeah, his soul is awakened. He is awakened, so he knows what actions are going to bind me and what are the actions that are going to liberate me. In fact, karma bandha. If I do some actions, will I be bound and all that? He is very clear on such.
Is clear about. Means his Vivek Buddhi is free and he's getting the Ananda. Something what is Swami
And then,
Vivekananda. The Ananda of having Viveka. Ability to
yeah.
discriminate what is right and wrong. Okay, sir.
So Viveka Buddhi is there with Sattva Guna person, and also knows that every action that I perform, he takes it as a part of duty. And then he knows that maybe I may not, what not to fear, what to fear is also one of the qualities he knows, because his Viveka is awakened.
Ji, sir. Okay,
he further knows what are the actions and what is renunciation. He also knows that he's very
Tyaga.
clear.
Where is the Tyaga? Where one person must intervene, where one must let go. That knowledge is there. Fine, sir.
Then in Rajas person, due to Buddhi not awakened, he does not know what is right action, he does not know what is wrong action, then he does not, because he does not know what is dharma, adharma.
So he's busy fighting. A dharmic person will be called adharmic, and that person will fight against a dharmic person only. Or it is like a thermometer which is showing temperature low when it has to show high, and vice versa. So the ability to understand is driven by rajasic passions. So it is misconceived, misperceived. Situations are misinterpreted also because of rajas. Okay, sir.
A tamas person, basically because of a blurred buddhi and due to the cover of darkness, always has no clear perceptions. That means he has the wrong perceptions of the world, and he has his own interpretations also. This is
misunderstanding, misinterpretation.
That is interpretation.
And a cloak of darkness governs the intelligence. So we stop here. Thank you.
Buddhi is covered.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Ji, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Badrinanji. That was a wonderful summary of the entire chapter in a very short, like in a nutshell. So let us continue. We are going into the 33rd shloka, whereas I think Krishna in this last Adhyaya is just reminding us the reason he could have told us so many things. He started in the second Adhyaya only about Karma Yoga. He's talked about Bhakti in the 12th Adhyaya. But here he has again focused on an entire chapter, which is already, if you see, the three gunas were covered. Then the triple formula, again three gunas were covered. Now the third time Krishna is again touching the three gunas, meaning these three gunas are very powerful and have a very strong influence on us, on our everyday moment. So what we saw is not only our actions, even our perceptions are driven by these gunas. The danger about this is we can live in a false perception throughout our life. Nobody will take us out of that without the krupa of the Guru or the Ishvara or some kind of divine intervention takes place. Then realization comes. Meaning our life, we have this ability to perceive the truth, but we also have a risk of getting trapped in Maya, of which is functioning through the gunas. So the wrong guna overtakes us, our perception is blurred. It's something like that. I have good glasses, but I have not cleaned them at all. What's going to happen? I'm going to see everything from those glasses only. If there is sometimes, these are tinted glasses, I will see everything according to the tint of that glass. Something like that, our perception and our life experience is governed by that. Badrinathji wants to ask something.
Only one thing, Jaisi Drushti, Vaisi Srushti, something like that.
Jaisi Drushti. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Nice one. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you. Let us continue. So not just that, even the greater determination or the grit, means what persistence is there. This is very important in a person's sadhana also. How is the person persevering it? I mean, how is he going ahead? Dhyasa, dhruti. Let us see. Dhrutyaya dharayate manaha pranendriya kriyaha yogenavya bhicharinya dhruti sapartha satviki. When the grit and determination are firm and unwavering through yoga's regulated efforts and conditioning, when there is control over one's mind, senses, and existence, this is said to be sattva state of persistence. So dhriti is important. I think we've heard of Shraddha. There's also one more quality, isn't it, along with Shraddha? This is Shraddha and Saburi. Both go together, isn't it? It is so important. You have to have Shraddha, but you also have to have that patience and perseverance. So the person with a sattvic state is having a firm determination, no matter what. Sometimes this person is ready to face the storm also, on the base of what? Where does that confidence come from? It comes from the firm foundation in the divine. Jako rakhe saya mar sake na koi. When God be for us, who can be against us? These are all important messages which tell us that if we have Shraddha, we can, bring out or awaken the champion inside of us. Fear also will disappear. This determination can come through yoga sadhana, through regulated conditioning of the mind, maybe by dhyana, by different tapas. We have seen yajna, dana, tapa. All of these help a person in going ahead. With a control over mind has to be in control. Otherwise, anybody will come and manipulate it, and your life will be according to the tunes of somebody else. I think we have to decide, do we want to dance to the tunes of somebody who is forcing us, or do we want to dance to the rhythm of Krishna's flute? His flute, when it plays, do we want to dance to the sur and enjoy Leela, or allow these forces to trap us in Maya? That is the choice which a person has to take, and he consciously can take it. He can choose to be conscious, or he can choose to be unconscious. That is what a sattvic person understands and says, I don't want to be unconscious. I would not want to. And so determination is
Excuse
strong.
me, sir.
Yes, Gayatri ji. Yes, ji.
Can we say Raja Harishchandra? I mean, can Raja Harishchandra's example will be in tune with this 33rd shloka?
Ji, Sattvic Parhi. Always he was persevering for the righteousness, isn't it, ji?
He was when he was performing Domba's act, like he had to kill his own, not kill actually. You got it now, what I want to say?
Yes, I got it. So he has risen beyond his what we can say personal choices, personal preferences, and it was a test only, isn't it? There's a story behind Raja Harishchandra also. It was a test. It was a test by the divine. So like that in our life also, don't we get tests? We don't get exam question paper like it comes in school or colleges, but we get different exams in our life. Suddenly one thing nice is happening, and suddenly one bad news comes from somewhere, or somebody comes and tries to, trigger us when things are going well. So if we are like Sattvic, we will not be triggered. What can you do? Somebody pushes you, you're going to get triggered. But if you're strong enough, you're going to stay like that. Well, that is what we can say, sattvic state, regulated efforts, conditioning. There's a control over one's senses, one's mind, even the existence also, the entire life, this person has decided. Many times people are very free when they offer themselves, do surrender to the divine. Okay, now I don't have to worry. Yoga Kshemam Mahamyaham. That is promise of Krishna. It is his headache, how my life goes ahead. Sometimes I also say, what Krishna, you are now taken a big responsibility. This namuna I tell about myself, you have to only take care. Now, because surrender is where I am trying to surrender as best as I can, but now I don't have any worry. I will do what I want, but with sincerity, and your job is to take care. And sometimes it's very useful also because it takes away all the pressures. You're not responsible for everything. This kind of attitude we should try to cultivate. Of course, this is the ideal state. Moments come, Rajasic moments will come, Tamasic moments will come. We have to be in a state of constant vigilance and alertness. Sattvic person is able to do it easily. Sattvic person is experienced that joy also, experiencing the little joys which are very beautiful. In our life, we have to experience those joys. They are absolutely abundant. We have abundant moments. Only we don't perceive because of these gunas. Let us cultivate sattva, experience the joy. Share your ice cream with Krishna. How beautiful it would be, or happy moment you are celebrating, instead of getting trapped in rajas and again creating one karmic loop, another one sanskara. In your excitement, you hit somebody. In your excitement, you pass a disparaging comment on a friend. Friend takes offense. Again, it's a big, what we can say, cycle. Instead, remain content, experience the joy, experience the leela. That is possible when we are having sattva. But what is rajas? Yaya tu dharma kamarthan dhritya dharayaterjuna prasangena palakangshi dhruti sapartha rajasi. Oh Arjuna, when to attachments, the beings are firm, restless need, wealth, righteousness, and desire, they are firm. Motivated by them, passion is their main feature, and rajas is said to be their persistence in nature. So what happens when attachments are very strong? My friend, my brother, my sister, my husband, my wife, my lover, all these, my becomes more important than the relation also. My becomes more important than the other person, because rajas is having that nature. Grab things, acquire things, take control. You see a beautiful flower, rajasic nature will make you pluck that flower. I want it mine. I want it with me. What's going to happen when you pluck that flower? Keep it in your hand for 2 hours. You'll see the beautiful flower will not remain beautiful anymore. Instead, you keep it, allow it to grow in the garden. You will see it for many days, experience the beauty. You will even see some butterflies coming towards it. So what does rajas do? It tries to break, it tries to grab, it tries to snatch. But the problem is we cannot hold on to certain things in life by snatching, isn't it? Water. Can you snatch water with your hands? The more you try, the more it will just fall. It will move through your fingers. Something like that. It is the same thing. That's what Krishna is talking about. But a Rajasic person doesn't understand. He feels, I have to grab. So even wealth, I need to have so much. Righteousness, there is no more righteous person than me. Even this is a type of ahankar. Sometimes sadhaks also get it. I am very righteous. So that is one kind of another ahankar. Sometimes it's more dangerous for the sadhak only. So this, and desires. My desire, I desire, so I must acquire. That is all that is there in their minds. So what happens then? All karmas are driven by this only, motivated by them. Passion is the main feature. When you're driven by desire, that will govern your every action. The action will not be pure and the action will not be perfect. It will only be oriented towards a result. No research can even be done with this attitude, isn't it? Can anyone do a research? It has to be neutral. The basic in research methodologies they go with the opposite hypothesis. If you have one hypothesis, they go with the alternate one. They subject it to research. Then there are different tests which are done, and then it is proven, because there should be no bias. But a Rajasic person is absolutely biased to his own self, his own desires, his own people. He is like Dhritarashtra. Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva. And even though he does not want, he invites Kurukshetra into his family. He invites the great Yuddha. The great war of Kurukshetra becomes because of Rajas only. And this is the nature. This is Prakriti. It continues inside of that person. But what about Tamas? Tamas is a third. Again, everywhere there is no logic behind Tamas. It's illogical. It's probably the worst of the gunas if we have to rate them. But it has its purpose, so it's there. Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam Vishadam madamevacha navimunchati durmedha dhruti sapartha tamasi. When, O Arjuna, one is full of ignorance, biding times and dreams, sleep and indolence, filled with fear, foolhardiness and depression. Such a proud being is tamas in his determination. So again, Rajas also has ego. Tamas has probably dire ego, and that dire ego only leads to depression. That is the biggest problem. My problem is the biggest problem in the world, much bigger than everybody. Krishna, I don't care about Arjuna. Arjuna was telling him. He does indirectly, isn't it? He didn't care about Abhimanyu. He didn't care about Draupadi in the first Adhyaya. He was only invoking their names to conveniently suit his own personal wish of running away from the battle. Why? Tamas Buddhi, Tamas was governing him. He said, I am doing this for everybody. It was not. It would have resulted in biggest problem. And he said, it's okay if I got killed. Would it have been okay if Arjuna got killed? Would the Kauravans have garlanded, his son, taken good care of Abhimanyu, all the others? No. But right now, Arjuna's problem is bigger than the universe. Arjuna's problem is bigger than the moment. This happens when there is this tamas governing a person's determination that results to fear. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhavaha. He says, I am afraid. At least that was a sattvic moment that he realized it. If he didn't realize it, it would have been horrible. So full of fear, foolhardiness and depression. Biding times in dreams, sleep and indolence. So laziness is a common feature. The person would rather go and sleep and I would like to dream and I'd not do anything. Somebody is coming, invading your land. What would you do? You'll have to pick up some weapon and for self-defense, isn't it? Can you say, no, I'll just let me go to sleep. When I wake up, maybe he might run away. This is what tamas does. It makes a person trapped in this. And there is fear also, there is foolhardiness also, and there is depression. Like that. So determination also, perception also, knowledge also, understanding, your karma, 3 gunas are there. Even pleasure. Ananda also is having the stamp of guna, is what Krishna is saying. So if we see one reason, if we want to, why 18th Adhyaya, this has been specified, is we have to observe this, what gunas are functioning. How am I working Rajasic? Am I thinking Rajasic? Am I thinking or am I acting? Now even the Ananda, pleasures also are of 3 types. Let us see. Sukham vidanim trividham shunu me bharatarshava abhyasad ramate yatra dukhantam cha nigacchati. And now, O Arjuna, listen carefully to me, for I shall explain the pleasures 3. By knowing them, you can be free of distress and dwell joyously and verily progress. The reason Krishna is saying is because when you know what is not right and when you know what is right, you will naturally take what is Shreyas. I think we know this. Yat Shreyaha Syanan Nishchitam Bruhi Tanme. What is Shreyas? Krishna, please tell me with clarity. Every time Arjuna was confused, he said, no. One side you're talking about material, another side you're talking about spiritual. Don't confuse me. Don't talk about both worlds. I believe in one. Tell me what is right. What is right, not what is desirable. Because somewhere he understood that there is something in the Kathopanishad called Preyas. There is something which is called Shreyas. What is right and what is desired. Sometimes they are not the same thing. I want something. I want my friend to talk to me. Now, whether or not it is required for my friend to talk to me is a different thing. If my friend is not well, I am not a doctor, but I want my friend to talk to me and share all the medical troubles so that I can offer some solution. Will you call that a right desire? No, it's just out of emotions. No, my friend must do. So this is what? This is prayers. But I want, I desire this. I desire some things which are, but what is right and what is desired, that understanding is required. So like that, here also, these 3 types, Krishna says, when you understand it, then you can be free of distress. That is why yoga sadhana is required. Nothing else. Yoga sadhana is just for living a divine life, a happy life, a joyous life, and a blissful life. So he says, you will become what those yogis also experienced. What Chinmayananda, Vivekananda, Satchidananda, different Satchidananda is also there. There is a Swami Satchidananda also. Almost all these yogis have their names as Ananda, isn't it? Why? Because they have done something. They have done some sadhana or their guru has given that as their aim. Tejo Mayananda. Why is this name? Because you have to get that. You have to get that experience. So that is why these sadhaks receive the names from their gurus, like different names. So they receive that Ananda, and Krishna is saying, remove what's not required, you will get that Ananda. Let us see. First type, Sattvic one. Yatadagre Vishamiva Pariname Mrutopamam Tat Sukham Sattvikam Proktam Atma Buddhi Prasadajam. That which seems like venom, poisonous initially, but is ambrosial nectar ultimately. From a satisfaction of the spirit comes that pleasure, and it is said to be of Sattva's nature. So this is a sattvic pleasure which Krishna is saying. Initially, it looks like poison. It feels like it is poison. But afterwards, it becomes Amrut, or you realize it is actually Amrut. It comes from the satisfaction of the spirit. That is a sattvic pleasure. Spirit satisfaction. Where does it come? Can someone give me some example of what a sattvic pleasure may be? Because poisonous initially, afterwards, how is anything like that which suddenly what is poisonous becomes Amrut? Anyone? Can you think of some? Yes, Deepali ji? Yes, ji?
When children go first time in the school,
yes,
that is very much संकट है उन पे वो स्कूल में जाना. बट
बच्चों के लिए या पेरेंट्स के लिए?
बच्चों के लिए.
बच्चों के लिए. अच्छा जी.
And afterwards when they are becoming or liking that Vidyabhyasa, and afterwards that is their main education, and
they get their joy, they make new friends, they get some life experiences. Same way children, like school also, sometimes parents send them to coaching exercises. And if the child is not having inclination for exercise, all hell breaks loose. The child gets, what have I done wrong? Why are you sending this? This coach is so bad. All of these things come out. It seems like horrible, but after some years, that person becomes one of the most physically well fit person. Badrinath ji is adding something. Yes, sir. Please go on. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I said even, when we are studying during our school days, we find it so troublesome and so difficult. But when you are, when you join some company and you get the first salary, initially you're so thrilled. I was,
yes,
yes.
Ji sir, ji sir. So that hard work initially when you have to do, it seems like, what is this? What is the use?
Yeah.
In my school, I used to feel very bad about these English poets. They used to make us read about poets and what is this? What is the poet thinking? Why spider has fallen down? That poet is jobless. He wrote a poem on the spider. Why is he thinking all of it? And why I have to write about it? I thought poets are the worst people in the world. But afterwards, I only became a poet. Then I have to not call myself worst. So I had to change my whatever buddhi it is. So this aspect happens. Even Adhyatmik Marga, it initially feels like it is poisonous. It is like, what do you have to give? On the Adhyatmik Marga, you have to give your attachments. अरे यही तो है हमारे पास, वो भी ले रहे हैं क्या? And who is taking it? The God. You cannot see that God. You have not seen that God. For that God, you are surrendering to an unknown force. You don't know, you have not experienced that God, and you are supposed to surrender. You feel this is horrible. What is this? I am having more trouble after doing sadhana. Look at all those people in Mohamaya. They are at least enjoying. They're having happy and bad moments, but look at me. I have to let go. It seems like this is the worst path. But that is the initial state. Then my mother was just told somebody I had joined my teacher and all, and my aunt reacted as if I have passed away. He's taken to spirituality, and her face and everything, it was as if Gaya Ram Nam Satya hai. That's all. He is no more. But it's not the case. I'm still very much with my family. I'm still connected with my friends. They have not changed. Also, same school friends. Everything is the same. It does not change. But initially, this fear is there. Fear of letting go. Fear of embracing the unknown. How can I do this? How can I surrender? But then the anubhav comes. Then the realizations come. Those little moments, special moments, we call them miracles also. And then we suddenly see, oh wow, looks like God has specially made this path for me. Initially, the path which is looking horrible, which is looking like a same path everybody has to tread. Nobody. Arjuna asked the question, what about those yogis who don't go ahead? Don't they become yoga brashta? Should we not avoid that marga? Krishna says there's nothing like that. And actually the realization afterwards comes when you realize. Then you see the great enjoyment. You don't see detachment as cold heartlessness. You feel mukta sangha. You experience the best of relationships. Best relationships with people. Because there's a freedom, you are free and yet united at the same time. No bondage, no compulsion, perfect relations. All these things are possible on the spiritual path. So this ananda which comes on this marga, this adhyatmic can be, and like even vidya, when you are receiving wisdom, what you get afterwards, initial sacrifices are made. No pain, no gain. So that is what we can say. Even medicines, first they are better. But afterwards, they turn to Amrit only, isn't it? If you are unwell and you have taken a bitter medicine, like in Ayurveda, Haritaki, that herb is there. It is very, very bad. Children just keep it in front of the child. Child even tastes it for half an hour, the child will have a bad face. But that is considered to be the mother and king of all medicines also, of herbs. Something like that. This is what is sattvic pleasure. Initially, it may look bad, but it is the right thing. And you are going to taste the Ananda later on. Krishna is also telling the same thing. So let there be no doubt. Ananda is there, and that is real Amrit, which will remain. Because ultimately what remains is only truth. Satyameva jayate. So that which will remain permanently. But Rajasing is not like that. Vishendriya sanyogat yadadagre mrutopamam pariname vishameva tatsukham rajasam smrutam. That which is born of sensual attractions, of senses, objects and their interactions, seems nectar-like first, but is poison in the end. Such a pleasure as Rajas one can comprehend. Krishna says this, which is born from sensual attractions, meaning desires, indriyas. We have also seen different types of attachments, isn't it? Physical, mental, emotional also. And intellectual also, people get attached so many ways. So these are all desires, sensual, indriyas governing a person. Sometimes you feel very happy. People get very happy drinking. They feel, wow, I am experiencing the greatest bliss. Then they get there after when the hangover comes, nobody enjoys it. But initially they say, oh, this is brilliant, wonderful. This is how life should be. But then the consequences are people damage their livers drinking heavily. This problem they don't understand until the consequences come. Then it's a big problem. Then this thing which they called Amrit is actually a greatest poison. Why drinking only? Look at drugs. They're so rampant now everywhere. Youngsters are getting just attracted. Reason is what? Rajasic happiness, moments of Rajasic happiness. They feel I'll get it now, I'll experience. But it's a fake paradise. It is not a real paradise. Sattvic person will go into dhyana and experience some great ananda, which can be naturally high without side effects. But a Rajasic person is there who's getting trapped into it. It initially seems like nectar, but is poison in the end. Such a pleasure as Rajas one can comprehend, which becomes a poison later on. So that is a danger. But still, it is not the worst danger. Because somebody who is drinking and getting the side effect of drinking will understand that, boss, this is not meant for me, or I shouldn't do it now. Otherwise, somewhere Vivek Buddhi can come afterwards because of consequence. But the problem with tamas, it will not come only because the person does not realize it. That is the worst case where people get sometimes very hard addictions, which are difficult to be removed even by the best de-addiction centers, medication, nothing works. That is tamasic. Yadagre chanubandhe cha sukham mohanam atmanaha nidra lasya pramadotham tat tamasam udahratam. The pleasure which is illusionary in essence in both its beginning and consequences, that stems from sleep, ignorance, and a lazy nature arising out of tamas, is this pleasure. This is tamasic pleasure, meaning the person is trapped in it. He feels it is Amrit in the beginning, Amrit in the end, but both times it's actually never Amrit. It's eating up that person's personality, draining and zapping the spirit of that individual. Unfortunately, that person cannot come out when he is deeply trapped in it. That is why we need to have a Margadarshan. We need to have some kind of hold on to something, hold on to Bhagavad Gita, hold on to your Aradhya, something like that, one place, because that will give you the strength to come out of these traps which are there in this world. Krishna goes on, Nadasti pruthivyam va divi deveshu va punaha Sattvam prakritir jair muktam yadebhihi syad tribhir gunaihi. These three gunas, they are trapping every single person. Every living being is what Krishna is saying. No being can exist on earth. Even in the heavens, no God has taken birth. Even the devas are getting trapped. Who is not subject to nature's modes three. From its workings, all qualities come to be. Because Prakriti is working. Don't blame Prakriti. She is responsible. She is doing her experiment. We are only the experimental creatures which are being used by Prakriti. So it's up to us. What do we want to do in this experiment? Do we want to become conscious participants or unconscious casualties of Prakriti's experiment? That is our choice. But everybody is having these three gunas governing at all times, at all points, every living being. That means even animals also have these gunas. I think if people who have pets, if you have had multiple pets, you can identify. Chitraji wants to share something? Yes, Chitraji. Is it? No. All right, I just saw you unmuted. Fine. So if you've had multiple pets in your house, sometimes you see the same breed also. Two pets may have different nature. Probably the different bhava is the different guna is functioning in the pets also. So in all living beings, this is the force of nature, Prakriti, Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, Krishna is saying. So one thing is there that those three are there, but there's a combination of the three inside all of us. That combination is what is making us what we are. And each person is born with a different combination, which we call Swabhava. Each person has a different Swabhava. We must respect the other person's Swabhava. We must follow our own Swabhava. Without that, it's not possible. Let us continue. Krishna goes on. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vishan, Shudranancha, Parantapa, Karmani, Pravibhaktani, Swabhava, Prabhavair Gunaihi. Depending wholly on their birth nature, there are the quadruple divisions of equal stature based on the individual tendencies and innate aspects. Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras, the four sects. So Krishna is saying they're not based on the birth, they are based on the birth nature. Based on birth means like saying on today's day, doctor's son must become doctor, lawyer's son must become lawyer, architect's son must become architect. I don't think we follow that, isn't it? The reason we don't follow it is because the child may have a different dispensation. Doctor's son can become an artist also if the person wants. It does not have. Lawyer's son may go into a different field. Each person has a nature. You can't make the same person do this according to a fixed routine. Something like that. Here Krishna is talking about depending upon the birth nature. These are the quadruple divisions of equal stature. They are equal. This is also important. No one is greater, no one is lesser. This is also there in the Vedic times. Why politically, what happened, how it happened. There are too many factors. We will lose hours of discussion on this, on so many factors that led to what we can say a rigidization of this. But here at least we see, as we have seen in Vedas also, if you see the Purusha Sukta, the Purusha is Brahman, Purusha is Kshatriya, Purusha is Vaishya, Purusha is Shudra. And who is this Purusha? Purusha is the divine only. So each portion, the portion of the Purusha is one Anga of the Purusha, is four. Let us see what Krishna is saying. At least now Krishna has clearly told us. What has he said? They are of equal stature. That is very important, which we must understand. It is on the birth nature. My one question is it correct to look at the nature of the individual, or is it better to have birth only? Anybody?
Nature is also important.
Nature is important.
Nature is important, isn't it? I think in nowadays, what do the counselors do for school children? They do aptitude studies, isn't it? And they see what is it, this person's aptitude is here. My friend was very good in kabaddi and all physical sports. He should try to develop what nature he has got, isn't it? What he doesn't have, maybe he can try to acquire, he can try to learn. But something, what is his plus point? He must identify that. Forcing him into something else would actually spoil completely. There was this one friend of mine who was excellent in everything academic. But sports, he was absolutely not capable of doing anything. Now, if somebody forces him into a career in sports, what's going to happen? It will be a waste. In the schools where our trust works, the principal says children with wonderful talent are being forced into something else because parents say, I could not get this, my child should get it now. My child must get it, and that dadagiri comes from there only, and the child does not want it. It's a rajasic imposition taking place. So this aspect we must clearly understand. Krishna is saying all these four What are they? Let us see. One by one. Dheerajji wants to share something. Okay, Dheerajji, and then we'll quickly go on because Krishna is going to give an explanation about these four. He has just introduced it.
Nowadays, we are going for the counseling in the schools for selecting the right career guidance.
Yes.
Most of the students don't wish to go for the career which their parents wish to
Yes.
to become. So this is what the main your karma is works over there.
Yes. No, that is there. And sometimes the counseling is not very good also. I got counseling that I should become agriculturist. According after 3 hours of exam, I went to Nagpur to listen. My parents were very confused, not knowing what I should do. And he said, I have to go into agriculture. And I became mechanical engineer. Anyway, let us...
It's a part of karma.
Yeah, karma only. Absolutely. Anyway, let us get back. So, Shamo damas tapaha shaucham shantirarjava mevacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma swabhavajam. Performing penance, seeking knowledge with a forbearance, maintaining self-control with a steadfast perseverance. He is termed a Brahmin who is pure, calm and peaceful. For it is in his nature to seek the spirit and be truthful. So this is the Brahmin Swabhava. So this is a Swabhava. That means anybody can have a Swabhava. Swabhavas can also be cultivated. This is also something which we must understand. So what is it? Performing penance. As a child also this person will have that tendency to do tapasya. Another child may not be able to sit for 2 minutes without crying out ma or something, calling parents. But this child may sit and do tapasya also at a young age. Well, performing penance, seeking knowledge, wanting to learn, wanting to grow, wanting to become better, with a forbearance, maintaining self-control, having good control of the self, and a steadfast perseverance. He is termed a Brahmin. Who is that Brahmin? He who is pure, he who is calm, he who is peaceful. So a person who is calm, who is peaceful and is pure on the inside, that person is a Brahmin, because it is in his nature. It is in the nature and swabhava of that person to seek the spirit and be truthful. Seek the truth. That nature comes naturally to that Brahmin only. He is the Brahman. Who is the Kshatriya then? Krishna says, Shauryam tejo dhrutir daksham yuddhe chapya palayanam danam ishvara bhavascha shatram karma swabhavajam. Heroism, high-spiritedness, and strong physical ability, daring in battle, with determination and gallantry, benevolence, and a skill in leadership. Such is the Kshatriya's nature that commands lordship. So the Kshatriya he's a king. He walks on the road also, it will be identified that this person is the king. Some people have that nature, isn't it? They are leaders, born leaders. Even in the group of friends also, they are caring also. They can take care of people. They have a strong physical ability. And in times of battle, they display this great heroism. They are very ready to face dangers also. Great determination. They are what we can say gallant also. They do certain very what we can say righteous actions which leaders take. And they have a great benevolence, love for all. It's like Raja is going to care about the entire Praja. Something like that. It is in the nature. You don't have to tell who is the leader. Sometimes when 10 people go, you will see one person. That person is taking everybody around. Automatically, even among friends. So we can say this is a Kshatriya nature. So this is something which is another nature in individual, another swabhava. It commands that lordship. It is the nature of that individual only. What about Vaishyas? Krushir Gauraksha Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam. And the Shudras Paricharyatmakam Karma Shudrasyapi Swabhavajam. The Vaishyas are craftsmen. They are the agriculturists, cattle raisers, skilled artisans, businessmen and the traders. So who are Vaishyas? They are engaging in commerce, give and take. This aspect is so important, isn't it? Commerce is what is running so many things in the world. And you need to have a good value return. We say clay, gold and stone, treat them as one. But we are not saying they are all equal in value. We need to have that much viveka also to understand. I can get so much clay with little gold also. Otherwise, we say we are Vairagi and then exchange offer clay for gold. Nothing will work. So here we need to have that Vaishya nature also. The craftsmen come in. Sometimes they make the beautiful craft work and they have to attribute value. Even the agriculturists, the farmers also. In our village, they spend so much money. They get a land. If they cannot buy it, they rent the land. They have to get the seeds. They have to do so many works. They have to get labor and forecast what is going to happen according to the weather. And at the end, when they have to send, there's a committee also where they have to sell their products. There's a union there which decides the rates. Commerce is so strong and active everywhere. So agriculturists also, cattle raisers also, businessmen, traders, all of them, they are having the Vaishya Svabhava. If you see, some people have a very good knack when it comes to money matters. You must have observed among your friends and family also. Perfectly, they do the perfect accounting. The person may not belong to the field also. I remember Damleji, when he was to go to his guru, I had heard about Damleji's, like after marriage, after having 2 children, he went to his guru and he would say, for Kothimbir, 5 rupees accounts. He would even keep that 4 rupees. Each and everything was perfectly accounted. People would ask, why are you doing all of this? Or right now, when our Midam Ashram construction took place, Damleji's friend, who is from the ashram, 12 rupees bus fare. He has done the construction. Now, which contractor? There's no contract also, written agreement also has not been made. This person has the knowledge, has the skill, was involved, and he started. But the accounts, he would write it down, 12 rupees, 11 rupees, 13 rupees. In today's day and age, what is all of this? Where does a person keep such small accounts also? No. And he says, and why is he doing it? Because he feels this is my duty. He says, Mataji ka kaam mujhe karna hai. I am answerable to the divine, not to anybody else. And so the person, we can say, has got perfect skill. This is what we can say a Vaishya Svabhava. They are able to understand everywhere. They can do multiple calculations also. Then what about Shudras? They are the last, but they are not the least. All are equally important. Krishna has already told. Let us see what they do. But the Shudras have only one aim in mind, to perform service for the betterment of mankind. Loka Sangraha, is this not what Krishna has asked us to do? And Shudras want to perform service. That is their entire aspiration. In Pondicherry, Sri Aurobindo Ashram, when it was just being formed, the ashram people would come. That time there was shortage of people. People would come and offer service. But there were choices by people. I will do this cleaning. I will not do this cleaning. So that because of it, the person who was handling it had a big issue. The cleaning of toilets, there was nobody available. And his job was to sanction works and ensure it goes properly. He was just feeling bad. And that time the mother of Sri Aurobindo Ashram, he just saw to her and from far only he just prayed, Mother, just somebody must come. Otherwise, I am going to go now and I will clean myself. I don't need to wait for anybody. I will take up that responsibility after allocating. And correctly, somebody came from Sabarmati Ashram and he came and I want only one work. I want to clean toilets. If you're going to give me, give me. Otherwise, I'm not doing it. And I'm going. He said, of course. And he thought it was a divine intervention. It was like a miracle for him that he just prayed and the next moment one person comes and his problem is solved. But look at the nature of this person. Can we say as a person is an inferior person for wanting to do this? No. But you see, that's his choice. That's a preference of service. Very few people have this. But if you see India's entire sectors, it's most of this, what we can say, service sector is only pushing the economy of India, isn't it? Our economy is driven by the service sector. And what is service? Service comes under Shudra, offering service, any type of service. So what can we say then? Majority of Bharat is Shudra only then. Is it less or is it more? No, it's neither less nor it is more, it is part. If you see which of these 4 is important, can someone tell me? We will just look at the illustration after that. Can someone tell me which of these 4 are important? Yes?
All are important.
All are important.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay, so neither one is greater or lesser. Can someone just describe the illustration so we can move on? Yes, please. Anybody?
These are the 4 people. Who is one is a Vaishya.
Okay.
The second one is a Brahmin who is doing the yoga meditations. Then
Okay.
next one is a Kshatriya who is protecting everybody by holding a gun. and there is a Shudra who is holding a cleaning stuff and who will clean everything for everybody.
Okay.
So everybody is having their designated roles in this. This is what the illustration says, with the proper tools in their hand. Yeah.
There's equality, isn't it? An equal sign. So not one person nobody is greater, nobody is lesser. This is something which we must fully understand. These are like, if you see on a table has 4 legs, isn't it? Can I say one leg is more important? No, take out one leg, balance of the table is lost. And this is very beautiful, this concept of Chaturvarnyam of Bhagavad Gita. It is something which is very important. But before we go, so what should we be is my question. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra? Anybody? Yes? What should we be?
As per your gunas.
Okay, but as an individual, what would you say? Which one, if as an individual?
We have to play all roles.
All roles, okay, that's all beautiful.
Roles. Yes.
Absolutely, this is very important. I think Kulkarni ji has perfectly said that way. Our Jivatman is perfect and pure, cannot have any touch of all of these sanskaras. But when we are living in this world, all 4 are required, isn't it? If I go to buy vegetables, I say I'm very sattvic, so I'll go very quietly and go good because mother told me get vegetables. I have gone. But I am only sattvic, I'm not Vaishya. I'm not having that tendency. So here, 100 rupees. Thank you for the coriander. You gave me a small bunch for 100. I'll say namaskar, thank you, and get that coriander, isn't it? Then I'll get all the scoldings because, see, I don't know. This is worth 10 rupees. I have given 100 rupees. So that means I have to be cognizant of the value, no? Give and take. Have I got back my right change? So when we purchase things for ourselves or for our home, we have to be very correct in that aspect. So that is one thing. Yes, we need sattvicness also. Otherwise, we'll have hypertension and we'll have to have lots of doctor visits for no reason. If we are not having this gunas inside, quietude, Brahmin nature, which is making us learn things, become peaceful, become truthful. Otherwise, we will be in a wrong state of mind all the time. Only rajas will be flowing inside. That will have negative consequences. So that also Brahmin is fine, Vaishya is fine. But Kshatriya, nowadays we don't go on war, is what one friend was saying. In the ancient days it was required, but nowadays it's not required. But don't we have to stand and fight for our ideals? Yes or no? So there we have to put a foot down, isn't it? Somebody is coming who is going to threaten your own existence, or somebody who is close and near and dear to you. What will you say? Would you run away or would you stand like a lion there? Summon the spirit of the divine, summon the force of the divine. Yes, but Kshatriya nature is required, isn't it? And then Krishna has told Yajna, Dana, Tapa, all this, we have a connection with the society. We have to offer service to the society. The Shudra aspect is also important. We cannot just not offer anything to the society also. So as Kulkarni ji has perfectly pointed out, all 4 are required and this is the truth. And a person can have multiple facets. If you see, even remember Parshurama also, he had said that Agradash Chaturo Veda Prushtata Sarasandhanu Idam Brahmam Idam Kshatram Shapadapi Sharadapi. According to Swava, he was Kshatriya only. So he said, I am Brahmin, so I can slay with my curses also. I can slay with my weapons also. So the stamp of Sabhava will be no matter what you do. But all 4 have to be developed. We cannot ignore our one aspect just because we feel this is not inside. But while going ahead, it is important to recognize our Sabhava. This is why Krishna says, means one side is telling you to transcend likes and dislikes. He's telling you have to go. But how will you transcend likes and dislikes? It will not happen just like that, isn't it? And you break your own feelings, then you are going to hurt yourself and you will not learn anything. You will have some kind of scar, some moral injury, some other troubles unnecessarily. Instead of that, use your nature. Use your nature. I was restless. I could not meditate properly. Damliji said, come se come acting karo. At least monkey nature will be quiet and acting for 10 minutes. If he's not able to sit for half an hour or 1 hour, at least 10 minutes acting he will do for 10 minutes is what was the probably objective, and later on it worked. Meaning, according to our Swabhava, we should understand first our Swabhava and use that Swabhava to move ahead in sadhana, and later on we will transcend. That's what we see. That's why Krishna is talking about Swabhavas here. Let us see why. Next shloka, it becomes very, very clear. Krishna says, Sve sve karmanya bhirataha sansiddhim labate naraha swa karma nirataha siddhim yatha vindati tat shrunu. He says, I'll tell you how siddhis are gained. In the last Adhyaya, this is the 18th Adhyaya, this is the moksha, this is the liberation Adhyaya. He says, I'll tell you, Arjuna, how people get the siddhis. So many siddhis are there. Hanuman was having Sakala siddhis. We don't need all Sakala siddhis of Hanuman. Even 1/10 of his siddhi is sufficient for us. But how do we get it? Krishna is saying. He says, a man who in his own work of nature perseveres, his skills mature, as towards perfection he nears. How perfection is achieved, I shall now say, listen to me, for I shall reveal the way. He says, I'll tell you how people reach that state of perfection. According to your nature, you choose works according to your nature, and as your skills develop, because what's going to happen? An artist keeps drawing. Slowly the hand starts moving on its own. The beautiful flow starts appearing in the art also. Perfection comes. Maybe the artist can later on close the eyes and still do the beautiful artwork. Why? This is Siddhi. This is Siddhi. So as per nature, as one perseveres, his skills mature towards perfection. And Krishna says, I'll tell you how this Siddhi is gained. Next shloka. We'll probably go to we'll be able to see 3 more shlokas today, I think. Yata pravrutir bhutanam yena sarva midam tatam swakarmana tamabharcha siddhim vindati manavaha. The creator of all living beings in this creation, the supernal one who brought forth every manifestation by worshipping him through one's own work with devotion, a man can verily attain the zenith of perfection. How simple it is. Getting siddhis was never so easy. How is it? Krishna is saying. So worshipping the divine through your own works. Shraddha is also required, Jnana is also required, Karma is also required. But all 3 you are directing to the divine. Again and again we keep remembering this Shiva Manas Puja of Adi Shankaracharya. The last words, aren't they beautiful? Yad yad karma karomi tadakhilam tavaradhanam shambho. It is your aradhana only. So that is beautiful. It is said, गाली भी देना है तो भगवान को स्मरण देके दो. गाली निकलेगी नहीं या फिर वो ट्रांसफॉर्म कर देगी सामने वाले व्यक्ति को. If it is done with the divine will. Ahankar is there, it will again give you experience of rajasic experience, rajasic karma phala. But having smaran of the divine is the fastest way of getting siddhi. Offer to the divine whatever is best. Yes, Dipalji, I just come to you. One small boy who was probably in 10th class or 9th class from the Krishna's Butter project, he shared his experience. Maths Olympiad, he was very worried whether he's going to get full marks or not, and he was one of the brilliant children. So in that Maths Olympiad, as he was solving, he got confused. Somewhere he got stuck. He suddenly prayed to Krishna and said, I don't care about the outcomes. Whatever you want to do, I am doing. Leave it. You have only told no, I offer to you. Forget it. And he actually used the word, let it go. He said, go to hell. That was his word. For those children, we will not advocate using these words in class. But that was his beautiful attitude, and he got the best marks. He got a full mark in Olympiad. And he just offered it to the divine, and he got perfect score also. Many people say you must motivate somebody with results, then only they will do. Tell them you must get. No, he didn't have the aspiration to get 100%. He had the aspiration to do the right work, correct work, and enjoy the work. Somewhere he got pressured. He said, I'll leave it. I don't care of my outcome. I'll do what I can do best. And he got the best. Yes, Deepaliji, you were adding something. Yes, please.
I remembered one greatest Sant of Maharashtra, Sant Chokhamela. He always saw Vithala in his growing vegetables. Kanda mula bhaji avgi vithai maji.
Yes, so beautiful, isn't it? These are all. There are so many bhakti saints. This is also beautiful. How in the kanda, mura, bhaji, all these vegetables, where will you see Vithala? No, you can see Vithala in the kitchen. You can see the divine in anywhere, even in, there's no place you cannot. Sri Aurobindo showed in the Alipur jail. Worst place, solitary confinement, people grow mad. Here the security guards were getting mad if they went near that place. They were afraid. They were afraid because they heard different weird experiences they had. They said, no, we'll stay away. And here Sri Aurobindo is experiencing Vasudevam Sarvamiti. His beloved is with him. Well, this is absolutely something we can get perfection. Add the God touch, as I think it is Sri Aurobindo's statement. All can be done when the God touch is there. How will the God touch come in our life? When we keep pushing away the hand of God. He said, no, I don't want. I am strong enough. I am better than you. God will not come into the picture at all. You just say like Arjuna, Shadi Mam Tvam Prapannam. I don't know. Show me the way. I take your refuge. Then watch. Yoga Kshemam Mahamyam will happen just like that without your knowledge. This is what we are seeing. Krishna goes on further. Importance of Swadharma is talked here. We'll just look at these two more shlokas and stop. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharmat Svanushthitat Swabhava Niyatam Karma Kurvannapno Tikil Visham. It is better to perform one's own work faultily than to, under a compulsion of law, perform perfectly. When one follows one's own inner nature, one incurs not any sin of any stature. So Krishna is saying, better to perform. Now, so far, he's Yogeshwara, Lord of Yoga, who is talking about yoga, karma su kaushalam. We see perfection in works, every action must be there. He's talking about faults right now. And he's saying it's okay. Now, how crazy it is. What is the meaning? He says, it's better to perform one's own work faultily than to, under a compulsion of law, perform perfectly. When one follows one's own inner nature, one incurs not any sin of any stature. Meaning, follow your swadharma, understand your dharma towards yourself. It's okay if you're not doing perfect work also, but follow that. Follow those little actions which are according to your conscience, which you can understand. It is much better than performing some other work, but against your swadharma. How do we understand this? One example I'll quickly share. One participant had shared her friend's experience connected to this only. This young lady in the US, she was earning money for her family and sending money from whatever job she was doing. And the parents did not care anything other than the money that was coming to them. And this girl's boss was taking wrong advantage of her. Now, is this correct or is this wrong? Can someone say, no, it is for my parents, I have to do this dharma? Wrong, isn't it, Kulkarniji? Yes, it is absolutely wrong. Because Swadharma, this person, she was having dark circles, her friend noticed and said, it's going very bad. I said, why should this be tolerated? This is something which is not to be tolerated. This was during the COVID time only, just before the COVID struck, and it was a very unsteady period. But she was like, what should I do? What to do? And we had a discussion after the session also on this, and she was just saying, for her friend, she is worried. I said, you just see what is it. But for her parents, I said, they are not caring about their dharma also. As a parent, they must first look at the safety and the good of the daughter. Now they are not caring, and here this person is completely destroying self. How long will she continue? She said, I don't know if she can continue. Her face and everything is changed completely in the last few months. I said, this will have a horrible consequence. Just speak to her. She doesn't have this. She doesn't have to be bound by this against her dharma. She is going against her own self-respect. She's going against her own self. She decided, she took a call. She actually resigned. She even fought immediately against that boss as well, and she resigned immediately. Now, this is not a good story for her because she didn't get another job. And in that period, jobs were less. She had to come back to India. Now, all of this is bad. Worst part was parents. Parents said, you're not sending money, you're selfish, you're doing what you want. The doors of our home are closed for you when she's come back. Now, what would such a person? But she is feeling free and liberated from that big pressure in which she was caught. She became a paying guest somewhere. She started doing a job which was much lesser than what job she was doing. And she started standing up again. And now she's back. She's back on her track. Life is going well ahead. So here, working for a very large organization, but going against Swadharma, is that of any use? No, it's much better to work for a small organization also, it's okay. But according to Swadharma, because this is what Krishna is saying, because then only progress will happen. You can grow. What is the reason for your Swabhava? Why should you follow Swadharma? For progress. Your sadhana also should go. Your personality should develop. How will it happen if you don't follow these simple steps? Krishna says. Let us go on further. 2 shlokas will stop here. And tomorrow will probably be the last session of our study. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham api natyajet sarvarambhai doshena dhume nagni revavrataha. The duty towards oneself, O Arjuna, one mustn't forsake. Without abandoning works, in actions one must partake, even if defectively done. As all actions are cloaked with defect, just as the fire is masked by its own smoke's effect. So beautiful. Krishna is saying, it is all right, it is okay, don't be so harsh on yourself. Mistakes may happen, mistakes will happen. I think we saw nobody has learned to cycle without falling down. Something as simple as that. Don't forsake your duty towards yourself. Don't abandon your works, partake in your actions. Don't worry, even if you don't do perfectly correct action. Why? All actions, we are human, isn't it? Humans will make mistakes. All actions have some amount of imperfection. All actions are cloaked with defect, just as the fire is masked by its own smoke's effect. If you see even fire also is, the fire is so brilliant, fire is so radiant, but the fire is hidden by what? Smoke. And where does the smoke come from? From the same source where the fire is also coming, isn't it? Sometimes firefighters get in trouble because they can't understand how big the fire is, because smoke is covering the entire fire. So this is a normal aspect, is what Krishna is saying. Mistakes are okay, but follow your Swadharma, keep persevering, don't forsake your duty. Why? Next shloka clears it and we'll stop here. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spruha naishkarmya siddhim paramam sanyasena dhigachati. So this is the siddhi which Krishna is talking about. He's talking about naishkarmya siddhi, meaning you are doing karma and not getting trapped in karma bandhana. As the Upanishads say, na karma lipyate nare. Youngsters want to eat all the junk food but not get one extra calorie. That is some kind of naishkarmya siddhi in eating they seek, but it is not possible there. But it is possible if you do enough exercise to counter it. Just like that, when you are doing karma also, what is this? How do you get this? Krishna says, when the soul is conquered with detachment, leaving no room for desire or any attachment, man transcends regular actions through renunciation. Every action is performed with impeccable perfection. So every action, every karma, when you reach, you can go and get that experience of impeccable perfection. I had a very nice talk once where I was interviewed with a young teacher only, and youngsters were all part of that group. They just asked perfection. What is this perfection is a big trouble on youngsters. We don't like perfection. It is imposed on us. Where have you experienced perfection? That was a very straightforward question immediately asked, and that was a sincere question, but I had a first answer which came out was, I have experienced perfection in my mother's aloo paratha. And the person started laughing. What are you talking about? We are talking about works. But I said, no, look at this. Every time she has been making for so many years. It's always perfect, and I've never tasted like that anywhere else. If I get a choice, I go home and I say, Mother, please make this for me, because that is the experience. And what we can say, this perfection has come to her because of what? Not because she kept doing, because I'm praising, not because she's getting something in return for it. It is because of her own experience, which she has been doing sincerely, slowly. Whether or not I was most ungrateful son that way. I would eat all and give a birth, but not compliment the food. So she didn't care about that. She continued cooking. She continued her duty, irrespective of anybody's compliments, anybody's praise, or if criticism also. She kept doing her duty. And she got her perfection there, is what I feel. And Krishna is telling the same thing to us in the Gita. I actually quoted the Gita. I told them, I'm sorry, I'm heavily biased towards Gita. I will have references coming from there. And this was a shloka which was talking about the perfection. Naishkarma Siddhi. This is possible. Humanly also we can reach that. Only way we can do it is letting go, conquering this fault, which is attachment, which is a fault. We must first recognize it. Only if we recognize the enemy can you counter it, counter the attack, something like that. This attachment is the problem. Counter the fault of attachment. Go ahead is what Krishna is saying. It is so simple. Your regular actions will also become Divya Karma. Ordinary karma becomes Divya Karma when you are not attached. So simple as that. So Shraddha on the divine, karma done for the divine or for the need of the karma without any attachment, that will lead to perfection. Following your Swadharma, it is the easiest way. Basically, when you enjoy what you do, don't you think that will help you a lot? Wherever you have excelled in what you have enjoyed only, isn't it? So why not understand what is fitting for me, what is going right? This is my area, my place. Then use that to transcend. So this is the simplest way Krishna is talking about. With this, we stop at Shloka number 49. Tomorrow we will see from the 50th Shloka. And tomorrow our session will get complete. Krishna is going to share something very, very interesting, which will sometimes make us scratch our head, is why Adhyaya he did not tell this before. It will make us wonder, why Adhyaya, this was the fact. But no, 18 Adhyayas were required. 18 Adhyayas were required.
Mamekam Sharanam Raja. He will tell.
Okay. Mamekam. No, there's one more. That is there. Sarva Dharman Parityaja. That's correct. But later on, he tells Arjuna something about Swabhava, nature, and everything. Arjuna, he tells something that comes just after that. So let us see that. And we will also have a quick look at 19th Adhyaya also. So where is 19th Adhyaya in the Gita? What is it? Because everybody say 18th Adhyaya's Gita is over. Is it over? We will see that. So we'll conclude today with a Shanti Mantra, after which anybody has any queries, you are most welcome. Look forward to tomorrow's session then. Looking forward to Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyanto, ma kasyat dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tatsat, Krishna Mande Jagat Guru. Hari Om. Jai Shri Krishna. Hari Om. Any queries? Yes, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. I've got very less queries in this batch actually. Hari Om. Yes. Hari Om. I conclude with yes. If there are no